It's the prime time of my life, doing what I always dreamed I'd do. Feeling free and being me in the prime time of my life.
China? It started as an off-the-wall comment.
Somebody said, Mike, what are we going to do next? And said, well, let's go to the Great Wall and play on the Great Wall. And never thought another thing about it.
But Mike Grothman had plenty of other things to think about as director of the Pennsbury High School Band in Bucks County.
Last two quarter notes are top.
Under his leadership, the band has kept busy leading parades across the country, including the Channel 6 Thanksgiving Day Parade.
Pennsbury High School, Fairless Hills, Pennsylvania.
Now, this parade is carried throughout the country and overseas, but no one ever dreamed that a homemade video of the band's performance would wind up in China, and that it would prompt this response. We like your stuff. How would you like to come over and perform for us? Hearing the invitation, Grothman is flattered.
Yeah, this is nice, but I really don't think anything's going to come of it.
1, 2, ready, sing.
Soon the band members heard about that crazy rumor.
Before we used to joke about going to China, we said, oh, we go to China, ha, ha, ha.
That's the volume. Now let's get the right notes. 1, 2...
I think their reaction was the same as mine in the beginning. This was the spring of last year. Yeah, it's real nice, but it's never going to happen.
As for the band members' parents...
I didn't realize that we were getting into this trip until we got into it.
They got into it, seriously, late last year. Band member John Helkitis, a senior, remembers the evening well.
We had an official invitation given to us by the ambassador from the Chinese National Embassy in Washington.
Never before has such a big band like yours from a foreign high school performed in China.
This was an historic first. No such invitation had ever been issued before. Backstage, it is China, Here We Come, and an upbeat band director.
We're very, very honored to have the invitation to perform in China, and as I said in my speech, I think it's an experience that these students will never forget, and it's one that they will carry with them for the rest of their life.
A night to celebrate, but also to wonder, where do we go from here? How do we take the 170 members of the marching band, the jazz band, and the concert wind ensemble out of school for 10 days and then fly them, along with 35 chaperones, plus a medical and teaching staff, to the other side of the world to perform in concerts and parades in 3 major cities? I mean, how do you do all that?
In order to do that, you had to pick a time when it was going to least affect things like the senior prom. The fact that kids have other priorities other than band. Kids are preparing to go to college. You have to consider when SATs are being held. They are members of other organizations other than the band. We have basketball players in the band. We have kids who run track. So all those things had to be taken into consideration, along with the obvious academic effect of taking the kids out of class.
There was also another little effect.
Then we had to worry about raising all the money.
The Boosters organization, which is our parent support group for the band, they had to raise the money. Anytime the band travels, it's not tax dollars that are used. The Boosters raise the money with events, the typical fundraising events of selling candy, hoagies, and you name it.
You name it, Ron Forster's done it as president of the Band Boosters organization.
I have usually one night a week that belongs to me, and the rest of them I'm over here. We're having the pancake breakfast, which is actually the first time this has ever been tried with us.
How long have you been here?
Since 6 o'clock this morning.
How many pancakes have you made so far?
A few thousand. Seems that way anyway.
All right. We've cooked about 120 pounds already.
We started at 7:30 last night.
It's a lot of fun. It's going to be all worth it.
We've got Easter flowers out in the lobby. We're selling those today. We've got people out collecting the money from the last candy sale. We've had about 4 or 5 different candy sales. And we've got another raffle that's going on. We're collecting money for that.
Would you like a 50-50?
So there's got to be at least 90, 100,000 candy bars we sold.
You have any friends left?
Not many. Every time they see you coming, they figure you're selling something, so they run.
But they always come back for more, knowing it's for a cause that comes once in a lifetime. If you're lucky. What's needed?
Between $370,000 and $400,000.
That may be the biggest amount ever raised for a high school band, but Mike Grothman hasn't had time to check it out. He's too busy with details. Details. Details.
Special request made. We tried to honor those in all possible.
Meanwhile, it's Chinese home ec in the hallway.
Find a small bowl that would be used for rice as well. Guys, use your chopsticks. Yeah, you've got to put enough tension between your finger and your thumb to
Another night and another lesson. Thinking about taking any drugs to China? Well, then think again. Because this drug-sniffing canine is eager to make your luggage's acquaintance. The fundraising, the preparations, they're all behind us now. It's 2:45 in the morning here at Pennsbury High School, and the journey of a lifetime is about to begin.
Daphne Rodriguez and Nicole Schaefer is bus number 1. Now these bus lists are... We'll probably get out of Pennsbury High School around 4 in the morning, arriving at JFK around 7. And then basically a customs check and on to China Airlines 747 and flying halfway around the world for the next 22 hours. I think you're going to find a wide range of kids. Kids are very, very excited about this thing. Kids who are scared. That's a long way from home if you're in 9th grade. That's going to be a scary thing. You'll have homesickness and things like that, and all that has to be taken into consideration. That's why I think it's neat having the parent chaperones around, because they do act in mom and dad kind of role for the kids.
Put this in your carry-on, because that might break. Okay, so yeah.
Homesickness, there will be that, but also other experiences as well. Ones that senior Karen Jorgensen believes will change her life.
I feel it's going to be a big culture shock for a lot of people. Everyone's hearing this, but I don't think really people are going to believe it until we get there.
Just what will they discover over there on the other side of the world? At this very moment, China is radically changing in its attitude towards the United States and towards itself. So how will it confront these young ambassadors from the Delaware Valley? This time, next week, you can find out because our primetime crew is going along every step of the way. So it's bon voyage, and we'll see you next week on tour, in tune, in China.